Hey traders, you are welcome back to the Forex Geek channel. In this video, we are just breaking down a 1 minute strategy. Okay, it's a scalping strategy, of course, a 1 minute scalping strategy using the VWAP and imbalance zones. All right, now we're just going to go through a couple of examples to show you exactly how to spot entries, understand market structure, and react quickly to short-term price movements. Okay, so if you are serious about improving your scalping skills, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-time trading tutorials like this. So let us start with the VWAP. Okay, the VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. All right, so it's a powerful tool that shows the average price an asset has traded at throughout the day. Okay, the average price that an asset has traded at throughout the day, weighted by volume. All right, so traders use the VWAP to see where the market's true value is in real time. So basically, when price moves above the VWAP, it indicates bullish momentum, okay? And below the VWAP suggests bearish pressure. Now, for scalpers, you would see that the VWAP acts as a dynamic support or resistance level where quick trades rather can be executed. Now, you will notice that for this particular indicator, you will see that we have three lines, right? Now, whenever you have price above the upper line, okay, it shows that there is actually bullish momentum in the market, especially when the line is sloping upward. Okay, and on the other hand, when you have the price below the lower line, especially when it's sloping downward, it means that there is bearish pressure in the market. And when you have price in between, okay, especially when the lines are going sideways, it means that we have a consolidating market, like what we can see happen around here. All right, so you want to be focusing only on the periods when you have price trending. Okay, you only want to focus on the times when price is either below the lower line or above the upper line, okay, for a trending market. Okay, now let's quickly talk about imbalance zones. All right, these are areas where there are unfilled orders or rapid moves, okay, leaving gaps in price. Now, imbalance zones are critical because price often revisits these areas to fill liquidity. Okay, price often revisits these areas to fill liquidity. For scalpers, spotting these zones allows you to anticipate short-term reversals or accelerations. All right, so when combined with the VWAP, you get both trend context and precise timing for entry. The key is alignment. Okay, take note of that. Now, a 1 minute scalping entry becomes high probability when price touches an imbalance zone near the VWAP. Okay, so now just to give you an example of an imbalance zone, remember that an imbalance zone is an area where a gap was created. A gap was created. There are some unfilled orders there. You have a space between, it's a three candle pattern, right? A three candle pattern. So you have a space between the first candle's high and the third candle's low. All right, that is if it's in a bullish gap, right? If it's in a bearish gap, it's going to be a space between the first candle's low and the third candle's high. But remember, yeah, this is just an example, right? But remember that we are also making use of the VWAP. So when you find a bearish gap in an uptrend, you can just neglect that, all right? But when you find a bullish gap in an uptrend, then you can take advantage of that. Okay. Okay, so this combination gives you a structured method to enter trades confidently on very short time frames. Okay, so if you have price deep into an imbalance zone, I'm just going to remove this yellow representing the bearish imbalance. So this one now was a bullish imbalance, right? So now this is an example, right? So you have price drop into an imbalance zone, but it remains above the VWAP. Remember, the VWAP is serving as our dynamic support, right? It's serving as our confirmation tool, right, for the trend. So long as price remains above the VWAP, and then you have price drop into an imbalance zone like what we had here, this is a 1 minute time frame, don't forget. Okay, so this is going to signal a potential quick bullish reaction, and guess what happened? That exactly is what happened here. Price dipped into this imbalance zone, and you see that shortly afterward it got rejected, and you can see how it just quickly pushed to the upside. All right, so conversely, if price rallies into an imbalance zone and stays below the VWAP, that is going to be in a bearish trend. It hints at a potential bearish reaction. So that is just going to be, a bearish scenario. Let's see if we can find, that bearish scenario. All right. So, we need to have, a few examples, at least 2 examples. All right. We already had a bullish example. Now, this we're going to be having a bearish example now. Yeah. So here we had price give us a gap. You can see we actually had a gap here, didn't we? Between the first candle's low and the third candle's high, we had an imbalance, and you can see just almost immediately uh price entered back into that zone. But look at this. Price is already below that VWAP line. You can see it's below it, so this trend is bearish. Now price pumped into this imbalance zone, and before you know it started going down. And guess what? If you are taking that sell trade, look at, you would have caught some move, right? So that is it, guys. This is another example. I just showed you a bullish example, and now I'm showing you a bearish example. Okay, so now just a very quick recap. All right, price dropped into an imbalance zone while the VWAP is acting as support. You wait for confirmation, all right, like a quick rejection candle. Okay, and yeah, we actually had a rejection. This is kind of a doji. Yes, we had a doji here, but you can see that the wick below was kind of longer, so it's kind of a rejection. We had a rejection around here, right? And then you enter a long scalping trade. So this is an example. Now I have to use, this is going to be replacing a live example, because the patterns have already formed and all of that, and to save time, we have to use we have to use examples that has already formed. Okay, so it's not exactly a live trading, it's just more like showing you real-time examples, explaining how the process is, right? So we had a rejection candle here as the lower wick was longer, although it ended up being a doji. And then you can see that your stop loss has to be below that pattern, below that imbalance zone completely. Your stop loss has to be below that imbalance zone. Okay, so you're going to enter a long trade after you get your confirmation. Your confirmation could be a rejection candle, could be a bullish engulfing, any other bullish candlestick patterns. All right, and then your target can actually be around key zones. For example, you can decide to use this now as your exit, this particular immediate resistance, or maybe if you want to extend it a bit, you can use this other resistance. Remember that this is a scalping strategy, right? So you don't have to be greedy, you don't have to stay, because there is no guarantee that this move was going to go this high. Okay, it's not as if we are certain that it was going to go as high as this. Had it been we are certain, then we would have cut the entire move, right? But just to be on the safer side, in case of if this level causes the price to reverse, that's the reason why you have to target the next resistance. Okay, and we would have still gotten a good risk to reward. You can see we are having, if we had targeted this, we would have gotten risk to reward of 1:2.3. This one would have given us about 1:2.7. Okay, so we had a good risk to reward. Okay, similarly, if price rallies into an imbalance zone near the VWAP resistance, you can execute a short trade, all right, after seeing a small reversal pattern. Now, what is going to be our reversal pattern on this one? We can see that we had okay, let's look forward. We always need a confirmation. You can't just jump into the trade without a confirmation. Okay, in this particular example, you can see that we had a bearish maribozu, right? A bearish maribozu candle, those kind of candles that do not even have any wick at all. You see, there is no wick above, no wick below, showing that there is significant bearish momentum in the market at this time, right? So you can see that we had a bearish maribozu candle. Okay, so now that can be our pattern in this particular example. So if you're taking your trade after the bearish maribozu, your stop loss can be just above that imbalance zone. Please make sure that your stop loss is not within the imbalance zone. All right, your stop loss should be above the imbalance zone in the case of a sell trade, right? And then we can actually target support zones for our take profit. This place is too close, right? So we can just reference, another level, right? Okay, in this case, we can actually reference here for our take profit. You can see this particular zone now. We can reference this zone for our take profit, right? And you can see that the price eventually got to that level. Okay, so this is just a scalping strategy. Okay, don't forget, it's a scalping strategy. Do not be greedy. Okay, you are just looking for quick moves. Right, you're looking to catch quick moves in the market. You can actually have a risk to reward of 1:2, or maybe 1:2 point something, or 1:3, and that's just it. You should be satisfied with that. Okay, you don't have to be looking for 1:5 or 1:7 and all of that. All right, so watching price react in real time teaches you how to read momentum and improve timing for scalping setups. Okay, always remember, patience is key. Not every imbalance zone or VWAP touch is a trade. Wait for confirmations like candle patterns, quick rejections, or momentum shifts. Okay. Also, always manage your stops carefully, since 1 minute scalping requires precision and speed. So if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-time scalping tutorials. Leave a comment if you want me to cover additional 1 minute strategies using VWAP and other indicators. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Happy trading.